Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And the subject of juryless trials for certain serious crimes is raising its ugly head once again. And speaking of ugly heads, the writer Val McDermid has come out on this and said that she agrees with her close personal friend, Nicola Sturgeon, that it is a good thing and that people should be removed from the justice system. She thinks that the state should have the power to arrest you, to charge you, to try you, and to find you guilty without any input from the people. This is not really the sort of thing that we need in a modern democracy. It's the sort of thing that happens in Eastern European dictatorships in the 50s and 60s. You know, trial by state with no influence from people, no aid, and whatever. And she's saying it's okay for this particular crime, but why not all crimes then, Val? Why not all crimes? Anyway, we'll take a look at this and see why this madwoman is wrong. Here goes. So, Val McDermid rushes to Nicola Sturgeon's defence as crime writer backs juryless trials for certain serious crimes. You can read. The crime author is a close pal of the former SNP leader and has backed the reform despite claims it is a knee-jerk reaction to low conviction rates. And if there is a low conviction rate, it's because the prosecutors aren't doing their job. But that's the law. If you cannot prove the case, then the defendant is innocent. And to have anything else, oh, he's guilty because we think he's guilty, not guilty because the proof is there. You know, if you're putting people in prison because you want them to be in prison rather than you can prove that they've done something wrong, then that is a very, very bad system, isn't it? Oh, he's a political opponent. Oh, well, we'll just invent a case against him. We don't need to prove it. We'll just invent it and say it, and then we'll get him put in prison for 30 years. And that's the end of that then. That's not the system you want to live in, is it? Is it, Val? Is it? Come on. Anyway, Val McDermid has defended Nicola Sturgeon's plans to implement juryless R trials despite widespread opposition in legal circles and out in the community. People don't want to lose the jury out of trials because it's only the thin end of the wedge. Like I say, it'll just travel. We need juries. You need people involved. You need to have a gap between those prosecuting you and those putting you in prison, because otherwise you end up with, like I say, a dictatorship type oppression where the state can do it all. While Ms Sturgeon has stepped down from the top job, the SNP is still pressing ahead with a policy signed off when she was in charge. It would mean people accused of R would no longer be entitled to be judged by a jury of their peers. And that goes against every kind of sense. And no other serious Western democracy would do this. They don't do it. Instead, a single judge would make the decision. The move has met with heavy opposition, with critics saying it would be a huge detrimental impact on the Scottish justice system, while some have called it a knee-jerk reaction to low conviction rates for this crime. If you don't have people involved, you may as well just get rid of juries in all cases and just have the state prosecuting you. That's number one. Also, if this is only a reaction because of low conviction rates, then why not try and improve the prosecutions? That's the difference they have. If you can't prove a crime against someone, then by definition they're innocent. That's the system you live in. You can't. Otherwise, like I say, you could just make accusations and people go to prison because it's convenient. It's bad. Also, not only should justice be done, but justice must be seen to be done, and having juries there means that they are seen to be done. Anyway, writing in The Guardian earlier this year, Ms Sturgeon said myths made it harder to get a conviction, and also blamed opposition parties for turning it into a political issue. Well, it is a very important political issue. You cannot go out and change 1,000 years of political principle, of justice principle, where you have to prove someone guilty rather than just saying we want them to be guilty, so put them in jail. You know, this is how it is. This is the law of the land, and you want to change that so substantially. I think this would actually be another Section 35 action. Anyway, speaking in the 1919 magazine, the author said juries have their own prejudices when it comes to this crime. McDermid famously pulled her support of Raith Rovers when it signed David Goodwillie, who was found guilty in a civil court to have committed the crime. It's an apt name, isn't it? Although not convicted in a criminal court, he does not have a criminal conviction of it. All it was somebody got money from him for it. And this is, and I got, oh God, this is going to be very difficult and controversial what I say. But if the person who was the victim, undoubtedly was the victim, won her case, went to a civil court and only got money from him, that's money for sex. I'll leave that one hanging there, because he wasn't convicted of it in a criminal court. And it's a very, very difficult situation. And I'm going to move on. Let's just move on with that one. Anyway, we all know judges are far from perfect. That's not untrue, is it? We all know judges. She's saying that her argument is that juries have preconceived notions. Juries are biased. But juries are people. Judges are people. You tell me judges aren't biased. Judges don't have the same biases. The difference with a jury is it's a consensus of 12 people, not just what's going on in the mind of one man, predominantly usually a man. And so why does she think that a single judge is better than a group of 12 jurors? The same prejudices exist. It's a stupid argument, isn't it? Anyway, McDermid, who created the Inspector Karen Peary stories, has also backed the abolition of not proven, calling it a guilty verdict by default and a life sentence for innocent people. I agree. I do like it in one way, because you can use it against someone who obviously is, but you just can't prove that they're guilty. But it is kind of, yeah, she does have that. I would give her that point. It's got to be a binary situation, hasn't it? It's either guilty or not guilty. Anyway, she added it means lawyers will have to work harder for their clients and not rely on the jury with a verdict. That has led us to not getting an answer, never mind the right answer. Well, okay, you're saying that the lawyers need to work harder. Well, why don't the prosecutors work harder? What's the difference? If you're saying lawyers have to work harder, why not say prosecutors have to work harder? Simple, isn't it? Come on, Val, you can't have it one way and not the other. Anyway, what might be interesting, she said, to see if double jeopardy will have an impact on previous not proven cases where police uncover new evidence, even for the person accused, who may well be not guilty, but they have hanging around their neck forever the suspicion because they couldn't prove they're not guilty. You don't need to prove you're not guilty. You just have to be not guilty. It's up to them to prove you are. Ah, well, never mind. It's another side of the argument that she's completely wrong on. I'm never going to agree with not having juries. People must be involved in the justice system because it removes that complete linking of the chain from the state. The state does not have complete ownership of it. There's a break in the chain. That break is the people, us, the juries. And that's important. We must have that break in that link. Otherwise, you may as well just hand everything over to the state and just hope that they don't come after you with some trumped up charges thrown in front of a judge and he goes, yeah, it's very convenient, stamp. And of course, what goes alongside this and what's very frightening is that judges have their homework marked. And if a judge in these trials fails to convict at a suitably high rate, they can be removed as judges. And so you could be the unfortunate schmuck up in front of a judge who needs this conviction, or he'll lose his job. And whether you're innocent or not, you're going to jail. You're going to be convicted because that judge needs this conviction, or he'll lose his job. Guilty. I didn't do it. Guilty. I can prove I didn't do it. Don't care. Guilty. My job's safe. My $200,000 a year job is safe. Meanwhile, some poor schmuck goes to prison for 7 years just so a judge can be kept in caviar and champagne. Coming up. Seems odd though, doesn't it? Most people are against it. The entire legal profession are against it. And yet, a very famous writer of crime stories, ironically, is for it. And she's a very close personal friend of the woman who introduced it. To be fair, neither of them are ever going to likely be benefiting from anything to do with it. But it is a very strange sort of setup that this woman says it's a good thing to remove people from the justice system. But then that's the SNP. They don't like people. They don't like people involved. They don't want anyone involved in justice or anything except themselves. Only they should have all the power. And then you just get a dictatorship. Odd, isn't it? Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Do please press the like button and definitely press the share button. And please subscribe if you haven't already. Till next time, stay safe, stay well, don't go to prison for something without a jury telling you, and goodbye.